So why do Virgos get hurt so much, right? Why do Virgos get hurt so much? Virgos get hurt a lot because people try to ultimately figure out if Virgos are like robots that don't experience pain. And the answer to that question, if Virgos experience pain, is absolutely yes, we do. Okay. It's just that the thing about Virgos, Capricorns, Geminis, and maybe some others, that's just off the top of my head that I can think of, is the reason why it is that we're so able to not flinch so much, right? Or more than the others when it comes to when we experience pain is because we can see the bigger picture beyond the pain. So a lot of the times, Virgos in particular, we can see the bigger picture beyond the pain. So as a result of this, the Virgos are like, yeah, I'm very much so in pain. But at the same time, even though I am in pain, I'm still going to be in a situation where I'm very much so able to see the forest for the trees and see what I want long term. And a lot of people, like I said before, take that for granted. So they like to use us as their pin cushions, like voodoo, and and stick us, right? Try to create pain with us. Try to instill pain. Try to inflict pain onto us. And until we decide to open up our mouths and we say, okay, no more. I'm done. This is too off the wall. And then that's when it is that you have people act like they don't have common sense after that. But by that time, it's a little bit too late. They should have known better, right? They should have understood that if you're going to be dealing with anyone, regardless of the zodiac sign, you got to understand that bacteria experiences pain. Yes, bacteria experiences pain. So you need to understand that, yes. And anyone who doesn't believe me, y'all already know I got the evidence to back it up. So if bacteria experience pain, something small and single cell like that, experience some form of emotional and physical pain, right? Then who are us? And we're supposed to be more complex and greater than that, right? Then of course we experience pain. But for some odd reason, I don't know what it is, gets into the mind of other people. They tend to think, oh, well, this Virgo is okay. I'll just go ahead and do this. And then when the Virgos, like I said, go, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to deal with this. This is too off the wall. I'm going to go about my business because this is nuts. What do? I can't believe you didn't just sit there and let me continue to use you as a voodoo doll and stick pins in you like a pin cushion. And it's like, and at that point, you Virgos really begin to see what that's about, because Virgo is the zodiac sign of sadomasochism, right? Along with Pisces, along with Scorpio, along with Gemini. So, but it originates in Gemini, which is the first instance of it, then Virgo, then Scorpio, then Pisces, in that order, right? But those four zodiac signs, right, experiences pain quite a lot. Those are except for Gemini, those are trauma houses. But Gemini, even though it's not statistically supposed to be a trauma house, it's supposed to be a comfort house, it still actually experiences quite a lot amount of pain. But the point is, the Mercury in general, we experience pain because not only is it that people like to do that type of stuff, but Venus falls and doesn't do well in zodiac signs like Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, or Aries. Doesn't do well in those zodiac signs. All the other zodiac signs, the other 8, it does amazing in. Leo is one of the best placements for Venus. Sagittarius is one of the best placements for Venus. Pisces is actually the best placement for Venus, okay? But the reason why is because with those zodiac signs, they don't do so well in the conventional aspect of love, right? What most people consider love to be. Over here in the so-called West, right? Over here in the West, or I should say the construct, wink, of what we consider the West to be, because it's not real, it's a construct. But what we consider the West to be is, you see a lot of people doing a lot of funny stuff for what they think what they think love is, and it's actually a misconstruct. It's not real. It's fake. So with Aries, right? Because I'm gonna explain Virgo last, so that you can get an understanding of the slight differences and the trials and the tribulations. Okay, so with the reason why Venus has problems with Aries, or Aries zodiac sign, regardless of whether you have Aries in your chart, if you have it in your chart, you're going to have problems in love, is because Aries represents the zodiac sign of conflict and war. So obviously that Venusian energy is going to go against that. That's the reason why, that's one of the reasons why it is that Aries and Libra are exact opposites, right? So when you introduce the concept of love, Venus, right, to the concept of war, you have, right, you have a couple that bickers and argues and can't necessarily get along quite a lot, even when it comes to the context of friends or maybe even family members, right? Whatever type of relationship it is. I'm coming from a romantic sense, but I'm really talking about all types of relationships you have with people, right? And this goes for if you have those 4 zodiac signs anywhere in your chart, whether you have Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Virgo. Now I have all 4. So you can imagine how difficult things are. But I have a Venus in Leo, but it's not in a very good house for it to be in. So then when you have the concept of love, which is Venus, coupled up with Scorpio, what does Scorpio do? Scorpio can get along with any of the zodiac signs, but it can. But Scorpio chooses not to, because Scorpio is a very combative zodiac sign. Why? Because number one, Scorpio originally was ruled by Mars. Mars rules over Aries. Aries is the exact opposite sign of Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. Libra and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So with that being said, what happens when you introduce the concept of love or Venus to the concept of Scorpio? You have a problem, because the love type of relationships is very intense. The relationships is very intense, but it doesn't necessarily last long, because you come to find out that a lot of people will do things to the Scorpio to see how much pain and suffering it can go through, in particular, that the Scorpio will have to learn to get over the mistrust and evolve past. Then you have Venus in Capricorn. With Venus in Capricorn, when you introduce that aspect, right? And remember, these are, if you have those zodiac signs anywhere in your chart, there's going to be some problems in love. So Venus in Capricorn represents, or when the concept of love, which is Venus, is introduced to Capricorn, Capricorn is the worker. Capricorn is the workhorse. Capricorn is the air. You got to understand, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, right? That same analogy. Mars rules over what? Which is the exact opposite sign of what? Or planet of what? So Capricorn also deals with a lot of love issues due to the fact that Capricorns low-key want to be admired, loved, and appreciated. And they also want to do something great and amazing, right? But at the same time, a lot of times that can often create not a lot of love relationships, because their significant other may not understand that part of them that wants to keep evolving and doing better. Which brings me to my point of when you have the concept of love introduced with Virgo, right? Virgo wants to perfect. Virgo is introspective and wants to perfect itself. So with these four zodiac signs, right, with particularly Virgo not only want to perfect itself, but a lot of people think that Virgo will spend so much time critiquing the partner, when in actuality, it's to critique the partner due to the fact, yes, the Virgos will do some form of critiquing, but the Virgos will critique the partner because the partner is dysfunctional. The partner has a certain amount of toxic dysfunctionality, right? Or I should say, I should just say dysfunctional, right? In general, because that's an oxymoron to say that, toxic dysfunctionality. It's the same thing. So the situation with that would be Virgo also wants to perfect itself. This is the reason why it is that Capricorn and Virgos get along so well. Not only because they're earth signs, but also due to the fact that Capricorn wants to be excellent and Virgo represent the zodiac sign of self-improvement. So they go hand in hand. You understand what I'm saying? So, but in the West, like I said, to get back, and I know this is kind of a long video, but this is the things that really need to be talked about so people can get a very good scientific, practical, accurate understanding of, is due to the fact that now with those four zodiac signs in the West here, right, in so-called westernized countries, in countries like this, you have a situation where people are doing a lot of stuff for Venusian interactions or Venusian experiences, Venus, right? Love, right? But they're doing a lot of dysfunctional things that gives the illusion or the appearance of some sort of Venusian outcome or love, but in actuality, it's not. A lot of paying for dates, a lot of trying to trick off to get the person to want to rock with you. You know what I mean? Buying them a whole bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's a serious issue. A lot of there's not a whole lot of self-respect and self-value really going on in the West. Now, all of that stuff, you have to understand, just as it is that I keep trying to tell y'all about the major arcana. If you don't know what it is I'm talking about, go back to the video where I say, go back to the video where the title of the video is, the tarot is meant to deceive you, okay? A lot of things in the world is inverted, right? It's not the reality of what it actually is, to where you can get a real perspective, so you know how to tread on that land, right? How to exist in that area, right? A lack of accurate and very good preparation, right? So as a result of this, what happens here is in Eastern astrology, problems with Venus is actually their exaltation. It's actually their celebration in Eastern Vedic astrology. So so me personally, taking myself just as an example, I have a Venus in Leo, which is a very good placement, a very good zodiac sign for Venus to be in, one of the best actually, but it's in a house, it's in the 6th house, which is where Virgo would naturally rule over. So that means that it's bad, right? And then I have a Mars in Virgo, right, in the 7th house, which is where Libra would naturally rule over, right? So you have the house in which Libra is supposed to be in, coupled up with the planet that is against, directly against, or opposes directly Venus, which is Mars, in the zodiac sign that Venus falls in, which is Virgo. So you can understand in the West here, I'm getting my butt kicked due to the fact that, a lot of times people, and I see it myself, I even observe it myself, using myself an example. People are doing a lot of dysfunctional things to go about getting what it is that they perceive as love, but you're paying someone to do this to you, right? And with you, if you catch my drift. You're buying this person all this stuff. You want this person to give you all of this, and yet you sit down or lay down and don't do anything except just demand. But me, right? I understand what real love is. So the situation for me is, because I have that level of understanding, for me, because everything is inverted, I ain't gonna say everything, but a lot of things are inverted. I am actually exalted because I know what real love is. And I know that it's two people who have quelled their ego enough, right, to be able to deal with that. And that's one of the beauties of Virgos, right? I know it seems like I went off topic, but I'm bringing it back to a point. That's the beauty of Virgos. Virgo is not just about staying stagnant in a relationship. Virgos get a lot of problem in love because Virgos want to get more. Virgos want to get better in everything that they do. So it's that level of evolution. That's what Virgo represents. Virgo represents that concept of evolution. Personal, internal, as well as external evolution. That idea that things are adaptable given to their particular situation so that they are built to survive regardless of whatever the challenge is what Virgo represents, right? So a lot of the times, I'm kind of letting it fly in this video, to be honest with you. So a lot of times people inflict pain on Virgos, or Virgos get hurt a lot because those are the people who don't really have a very good understanding of what love actually is. And they're showing it to you that they don't have a level, that they don't have a very good grasp on what love is. They're really faking it, right? Because why is it that so many people don't give Virgos their credit? Why is it that so many people ignore Virgos intentionally? Why is it that Virgos are the zodiac sign that gets some of the hardest or the most difficult time when it comes to Mercury retrograde? Right? I've had so-called friends turn on me during Mercury retrogrades. I've had people who I didn't even know that had a problem with me. I just may have just, seen around have whole entire problems with me based off of it coming through the grapevine when I get told, or the information, word get back, this type of stuff. So this is why it is that Virgos get hurt a lot, is because you have a lot of people who are doing a lot of dysfunctional things for love, and they don't understand it, trying to, basically, they're out of their mind, right? Or suffering from their own delusion, right? And they want to inflict pain on you because you are in love and you have self-love. That's where Venus does do right with Virgos, right? Which some people are very envious of. Virgos have self-love. Now that takes time to develop. And that's kind of the reasons why it is that Virgos can be one of those zodiac signs that really has figured it out in the context of self-love needs to be implemented first. Because not only is it that Virgo represents the ego in the sense of self-actualization, which is a good thing, but also Virgo takes a long time to understand self-love, because usually when we're very young, Virgos find it hard to love ourselves because we're so busy trying to love other people, and a lot of those people disappoint us by showing us how outstandingly dysfunctional they are. So this video is a banger. Comment, like, subscribe. Let's get to 2,000 subs. I'm at 1,913 subs. If you love this video, please subscribe.